the modern Bhasmasur. In Hindu mythology, Bhasmasur symbolizes the destructive power of unchecked greed and ambition. He was an asura who performed intense penance to please Lord Shiva, who granted him a dangerous boon, the ability to turn anyone to ashes simply by placing his hand on their head. Drunk with power, Bhasmasur became arrogant and tried to use this ability against Shiva. His greed ultimately led to his downfall when he was tricked into placing his own hand on his head, resulting in his self-destruction. This ancient tale serves as a timeless warning about the consequences of misusing power for selfish ends. Today, Bhasmasur is no longer just a myth. His spirit manifests in modern individuals who hold power and authority across various domains. These modern-day Bhasmasurs are politicians, corporate leaders, and government officials, act like parasites, feeding off the lives, dreams, and dignity of those weaker than themselves. Their hunger for wealth, control, and influence knows no bounds. They exploit others without hesitation or shame, climbing the ladder of success by draining the very essence of those beneath them. Just as Bhasmasur was blinded by his power, these individuals are often oblivious to the harm they inflict on others. Political leaders are prime examples of modern Bhasmasurs. Many enter public office promising to serve the people, but once in power, they turn their backs on these promises. Instead of uplifting society, they use their positions to enrich themselves. They manipulate laws and systems to secure their future, exploiting the trust and hope of the public. Corruption, favoritism, and dishonesty become tools in their hands. These leaders pretend to care about justice and equality, while draining resources and opportunities meant for the public. They thrive in a world of lies and deception, using the weakness of others to strengthen their hold on power. In the corporate world, the essence of Bhasmasur is starkly evident. Business magnates and executives often rise to the top by exploiting their workers. While they may preach values of innovation and fairness, the reality is that they treat employees as mere tools for profit. These corporate Bhasmasurs impose harsh workloads, suppress wages, and strip their workers of dignity. Their hunger for wealth leads them to overlook the humanity of those who sustain their success. They maintain an outward image of respectability while secretly draining the lives of their employees, perpetuating a cycle of exploitation. Moreover, government officials and public servants are not immune to the spirit of Bhasmasur. Many misuse their authority, betraying the very principles they are meant to uphold. Instead of protecting the vulnerable, they exploit the system for personal gain. They weaken the institutions designed to serve the people, leaving the poor and the marginalized to fend for themselves. Public funds are misappropriated, and opportunities meant for the disadvantaged are siphoned off for personal enrichment. This immorality creates a system that punishes the weak while rewarding the corrupt. The cycle of exploitation continues to grow as those who are oppressed may eventually become exploiters themselves. Lower-level managers, civil servants, and even ordinary citizens can succumb to the temptation of acting like Bhasmasur, mimicking the behavior of those above them. They may rationalize their actions, believing that if they don't take advantage of others, they will be left behind. This creates a vicious cycle where greed, power, and the absence of shame become normalized. The true tragedy of these modern Bhasmasurs lies in their deception and immorality. They often present themselves as paragons of virtue, honest, hardworking, and ethical, while secretly draining the humanity from others. Politicians speak of equality, corporate leaders talk about responsibility, and public servants promise to serve. But their actions betray their true intentions. They hide behind a facade of respectability, allowing them to continue exploiting others without consequence. Yet, just as the original Bhasmasur met his end through his own arrogance, today's exploiters forget a fundamental truth. Everything ends. Power, wealth, and status are fleeting. No one can escape the laws of nature, and no amount of greed can protect them from the inevitable. Everything eventually turns to ashes. Those who drain the lives of others, in their quest for power, will ultimately face their own downfall. Their empires built on exploitation will crumble, and the cycle of greed will come back to haunt them. The truth remains that no one is supreme, and no one can cheat death or escape the ultimate forces of nature. In contrast to the destructive spirit of Bhasmasur, true strength lies in love, faith, and trust. The essence of humanity is rooted in compassion and understanding for others. When we nurture love and faith in our interactions, we build a society based on mutual respect and support. The realization of this truth can break the cycle of exploitation, reminding us that we are all interconnected and that uplifting one another leads to a stronger community. As we navigate our lives, it is crucial to identify the Bhasmasur within ourselves. We may sometimes find ourselves tempted to act out of selfishness or greed, whether through small acts of dishonesty or taking advantage of others in subtle ways. Recognizing these impulses allows us to resist the temptation to exploit others and choose a path rooted in empathy and kindness. By acknowledging the Bhasmasur within, we can break the cycle of greed and work towards a world where love, faith, and trust prevail over selfish ambition. The lesson of Bhasmasur is clear. Those who seek to rise through the destruction of others will ultimately destroy themselves. The exploitation and greed that fuel the modern Bhasmasur may bring temporary success, but in the end, everything turns to dust. No one can cheat death or escape the ultimate forces of nature. True power comes from uplifting others, and those who embrace this truth will find a lasting legacy built on love and respect. Please like, comment, and subscribe.